Welcome to Faith in Real Estate. My name is Wanda Rochelle, and I am a licensed realtor and probate specialist serving Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. I'd like to welcome you again on today. Today, we are discussing a hot topic. Probate is always the topic, but today I want to give you some definitions for probate. I realize that sometimes when people go through the probate process, they don't understand it. In fact, a lot of people don't even know what probate is until a loved one has passed away. And so today I'm going to give you some insight on some definitions that you'll need to know if you are having to go through the probate process. And so, again, my name is Wanda Rochelle. I'm a licensed realtor and probate specialist serving Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. And let me say, first of all, if you have had a loved one to pass away, I sincerely give my condolences to you, and I pray that God will just comfort you during this time. And so let's go ahead and get started. We are live. And if you're watching this as a replay, know that we'll be live every Tuesday in March, um, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I want you to join us if you're watching the replay. But let's go ahead and get started. And so when you go through the probate process, the first thing, again, I want to say is probate is actually just the legal process approving a will. And that is just a simple definition of probate. Again, a lot of people don't know what probate is until they have to go through the actual probate process. Another definition that would be helpful to you is the decedent, and that is the actual person who has passed away. So if you're going through the probate process and you need to fill out the paperwork, this is going to be a common term that you'll see. And so that again is the actual person who has passed away. If you're watching, feel free to share the video with your family and friends because people need this information. It's helpful to know it before your loved one has passed away. So please share the video. Another term is the petition. And the petition is the formal written request appealing to someone in authority. So if you have a probate case, you will be going to the courthouse to file your petition unless you have a um, court that will allow you to do it online. Or, of course, if you're represented by an attorney, then your attorney will file the petition for you. And of course, it's a legal document. You will have to complete it, or your attorney will complete it. It does have to be notarized, and it will just outline the person that has passed away. It'll have your name if you're completing the document, and while we're there, if you're actually completing the document, then you are considered to be the petitioner. That's the person who presents a probate petition to the court. Now, I'm licensed in Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. And what I want to make sure you know is that Georgia will these documents are actually online. You can just do a Google search for Georgia probate forms, and you can see an example of those petitions. If you're in Alabama or Florida, they don't actually have those documents online. And of course, if you're watching from another state, those every state is different, but Georgia does have those actual documents online. You can see every type of petition that needs to be filled out. So let's see. Another definition will be an administrator. The administrator is the person who has been appointed by the court to administer the estate of a person who has passed away. So one thing is important to know is that the administrator is the term if there was no will. That person is the administrator. If there is a will, then that person is the executor. And the administrator can be a family member or it can be whoever decides to file the petition. And when you file the petition, the judge will determine who is authorized to be the administrator. So when it says appointed by the court, that appointment is, of course, by the judge. And then another term is a creditor's claim. And the creditor claim is exactly what it says. A creditor wants to claim that money is owed to them. So if your loved one passed away and maybe they had a car payment with Nissan or they have an outstanding credit card bill with Macy's or some other department store, the creditor may claim um, file a claim with the court indicating that, hey, we want to be paid our $5,000 or $10,000. And so that is another probate term, a creditor's claim. And so let's see, the next term we're going to cover is a probate bond. And so a probate bond, like it says, is a document guaranteeing that a certain amount of money will be paid to the victim if a person occupying a position of trust does not carry out his legal responsibilities. And so what that means is, um, let's say Mickey Mouse passed away and Minnie is the executor. And again, remember, executor means there was a will. And so everyone wants to make sure that Minnie does what she's supposed to do by law according to the terms of that will. So the judge may ask Minnie to get a probate bond. And a probate bond can be obtained from a company. You can do a Google search. I also have a previous video that I did outlining how to get a probate bond. But you're going to get a probate bond, and it'll be for, let's say, $200,000, and that bond has to be paid and obtained, and then you present the court with a copy of the bond, and that's just to guarantee again that whoever is handling the affairs of the state will abide by the law and the guidelines of the will that's in place. So I hope you all enjoying this video. Please make sure to, again, to click like and subscribe, share the video. And if you're online right now, or even if you're listening to the replay, feel free to comment below, ask a question. And if I'm not able to answer it, I will definitely find out the answer for you. So again, we're covering probate terms, terms that you will need to know if you are filing a probate case. The next term is citation. And this is a notice to appear in probate court in an estate matter where some event, deadline, or dispute in the processing of the estate has occurred and must be reviewed by the court. And so let me give you an example of this. Um, let's say someone passed away, and let's say it's a grandmother, and there are 5 children. Well, one of the children may decide to have a citation issue because there's a situation with one of the siblings. So it could be anything. It could be a dispute. I remember a case, one of my, actually a family member, her brother filed a citation against her because he felt like he was not being given a fair amount. And so that's an example of a citation, and those are filed in the courthouse. Okay, another term is oath. You know how we always go to court and they make you raise your right hand, you solemnly swear, blah blah blah. So that is an example of an oath, and it's to solemnly swear or affirm that a writing contains accurate or true information. And so when you file your petition with the courthouse, if you have a probate case, you will be asked to go under oath to say that everything that you've written is true and accurate. And that person at the courthouse will actually have you do that. So that is the definition of an oath. The next definition is the executor. Again, remember the executor is the person who handles the deceased person's estate. And in this case, there was a will. Executor, there was a will. Administrator, there was not a will. And so but let me say this, the executor and the administrator, the judge has to approve for whoever to be in that position. And that would require the person to be, mentally able to do it. Um, Most of the time, the executor would be outlined in the will, but there may be a case when the judge would decide that that person is not capable or able to do it. So just keep that in mind also. The next term is equity. This is the difference between the fair market value of a property and the amount that you still owe on it. So if your loved one passed away and the house still has a mortgage, still has a balance, but the fair market value is 500,000 and your loved one owed 1,000. I'm sorry, your loved one owed 100,000, then that means the equity is $400,000 because 500 minus 100, because you've got to pay the mortgage off first, and that will leave you with equity of $400,000. And that's a good situation that you can split with your heirs. Okay, joint tenancy with rights of survivorship. This is one of my favorite terms. And let me tell you why. Because a lot of people do not understand what this means. This means that the definition says property that names a co owner on its deed or title. At the death of one of the co owners, the owner will become, the other will become the owner of the property. So, what does that mean? Let me break it down for you. If a husband and wife are married, the husband passes away, and the deed indicates joint tenancy with rights of survivorship, that means that the wife automatically becomes the owner of the property. It doesn't matter what the will says, it doesn't matter if there was no will, that other person becomes the sole owner. And so that is important to me and to you because a lot of people don't realize that. And I've seen people that thought they needed to file a probate case when they didn't need to because the deed indicated joint tenancy with rights of survivorship. So if you didn't learn anything else on this video today, that is very important. Okay, let's see what else. Motion. A motion is a written request to the judge that asks for a ruling on some issue in the case. An example of that would be um, if there's a motion to sell the property. Let's say the person passed away and it's been 4 years and you just decided that you did not want to sell the property until four years later. Then you would have to file a motion or your attorney would file a motion. And in some cases, I know in one state in Georgia, it's called a petition to leave for sale. And so you're going to motion for the court to have permission to be able to sell that home. All right, so we have covered definitions that will assist you in the probate process. I pray that this has been helpful to you. Please comment below. Make sure you join us next Tuesday. We'll be live at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure that you like and subscribe the video and share it with your family and friends. And I will see you next Tuesday at 6:30. Again, my name is Wanda Rochelle, and I am a licensed realtor and probate specialist serving Georgia, Florida, and Alabama.